Good morning, students. Welcome to English class. Today we will come to a new lesson named A Day in the Country. It's a very interesting story. And regarding the theme, it is mentioned nature has always been a motivator, guide, teacher, and mentor for men. Read a story about how nature influences men. So that is what is mentioned here. In this story, we get an idea how nature influences men. But I think along with it, while we read the story, we get another idea. So you also have listened to the proverb, all that glitters is not gold. We cannot judge a person by mere appearance. People having very gentle and attractive appearance won't be really gentle, really. But in the case of some of the people, even though their appearance is not so good, they may be very good people. So we cannot judge a person by mere appearance. I think that also is an idea that we get from the story. Okay, however, we will find out what happened and what all things are described here in this story about nature. So the story, while the story begins, the time is mentioned, that is between 8 and 9 o'clock in the morning time, between 8 and 9 o'clock, and we know that it will be to be very, very bright that time. But the details given here in the next paragraph shows that it was not a bright day, it was going to rain. So what are the details given here? It was cloudy, so it is mentioned a dark leaden colored mass is creeping over the sky towards the sun, referring to the rain clouds. There is a sound of faraway rumbling. I think maybe the sound that we listen to may be the sound of thunder. A warm wind frolics over the grass, bends the trees and stirs up the dust. There was a wind which shows that it will rain very soon. In a minute there will be rain and a real storm will begin. So these were indications to show that it was going to rain. What are the indications? This rain clouds moving, the sound of thunder and the wind that blows, etc. Then the main character of the story, a little girl of 6 named Fiocla. Fiocla, a little girl of 6, is running through the village looking for Terenti the cobbler. Cobbler, who is a cobbler? The person who makes and repairs shoes. And the name of the cobbler is Terenti. The white-haired, barefoot child is pale. And what may be the reason? Why is she pale? Maybe she was a little afraid as it is going to rain. But was it the only reason? We have to find out. The eyes are wide open, her lips are trembling. That shows that she was afraid. Okay, along with she was weeping, she was very sad. That's why lips are trembling. Uncle, where is Terenti? She asks everyone she meets. No one answers. Why didn't they answer? It is mentioned they are all preoccupied with the approaching storm and take refuge in their heads. All of them knew that it was going to rain, so all of them were busy reaching their huts, reaching safe places. So nobody bothered to listen to this girl. Nobody had time to wait there and answer. Alas, she meets Terenti's bosom friend. Bosom friend means very close friend. Uncle, where is Torrenti? At the kitchen gardens, answers she. So even though the other people, they were rushing home as they knew that it was going to rain, this Torrenti, he was not at all bothered of that. He was not at all afraid of the rain and the wind. He was continuing his work in the garden, kitchen garden. The girl runs behind the huts to the kitchen gardens and there finds Torrenti, the tall old man with a thin pockmarked face, very long legs and bare feet, dressed in a woman's tattered jacket, is standing near the vegetable plots, looking with drowsy eyes at the dark storm cloud. On his long crane-like legs, she sways in the wind. So some details of the person are given there. What are the details? He was very tall and thin, pockmarked face. Pockmarked face means having small dots on his face, long legs, bare feet, and then the next part, dressed in a woman's tattered jacket. What does it show? Why was he wearing a woman's tattered jacket? I think that is to show that he was very poor. He hadn't a lot of money to buy clothes, so he was leading such a simple and poor life. So another detail mentioned is crane-like legs. That also is to show that he was very thin. Okay. Uncle Torrenti, the white-headed girl, addresses him. Who is the white-headed girl referred here? Okay, Fiocla, a little girl of 6. Uncle Darling, Torrenti bends down to Fiocla and his grim face is overspread with a smile, such as come into people's faces when they look at something little foolish and absurd, but warmly loved. And actually it is mentioned he was grim-faced person. That means he was serious-faced. Everybody will feel that he was very serious. But while he saw this little girl Fiocla, what was the change that happened to? There was a smile on his face. That's why it is mentioned is overspread with a smile. That shows that he loved this little girl very much. That's why he smiled. Fiocla, he says, lisping tenderly, where have you come from? Uncle Torrenti, says Fiocla with a sob. She was weeping, she was crying, sobbing. Brother Danilka has had an accident. Come along. So her brother, his name Danilka, he had an accident. What happened to him? So he asks, what sort of accident? Oh, what thunder, holy, 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 what sort of accident? So he asks what had happened to Danilka, Fiocla's brother. In the Count's corpse, Danilka stuck his hand into a hole in a tree and he can't get it out. Come along, uncle, do be kind and pull his hand out. What was the accident that had happened to Danilka? What did Danilka do? Danilka stuck his hand into a hole in a tree and he can't get it out. It was stuck in the hole. So she needed the help of Torrenti, the cobbler, to help her brother. How was it he put his hand in? What for? That means, why did he put his hand into the hole of the tree? He wanted to get a cuckoo's egg out of the hole for me. So while they were walking through the forest or walking through the area, he happened to see the nest of a bird, cuckoo birds. There was an egg. He wanted to take that egg for his sister Fiocla. The day has hardly begun and already you are in trouble. Torrenti shook his head. Hardly begun. So we know that hardly is a negative word. We know that as in the beginning, the time mentioned between 8 and 9 o'clock. So just the beginning. and already you are in trouble. Terenty comes out of the kitchen garden and begins striding down the village street. He walks quickly without stopping or looking from side to side. Fiocla can hardly keep up with him. So was Terenty ready to help Fiocla and her brother? Yes, so he was striding, he was walking down the village street, and it is mentioned that he was walking quickly without stopping or looking from side to side. What does it show? He had now only one aim. What was that? To reach the spot where Danilka had met with an accident. That's why he was walking quickly, he was not looking here and there, and Fiocla can hardly keep up with him. Hardly, as we have mentioned, is a negative word. That means she couldn't reach, she couldn't walk with him because he was walking so fast, and this Fiocla is a little girl. The clouds have by now covered the sun, and soon afterwards there is not a speck of blue left in the sky. It grows dark. That means everything, it became very cloudy, and it was very clear that very soon it will rain. Holy, 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 whispers Fiocla, hurrying after Terenty. The first raindrops, big and heavy, lie dark dots on the dusty road. A big drop falls on Fiocla's cheek and glides like a tear down her chin. What does it mean? It started raining. It started raining. The rain has begun, mutters the cobbler. That's fine, Fiocla, little girl. The grass and the trees are fed by the rain as we are by bread. What did he say? It's a good thing that it rains. Why? The grass and the trees are fed by the rain as we are by bread. In the case of the trees and the plants, they cannot live, they cannot survive without water, and they get water from this rain. So it's very necessary for nature. And as for the thunder, don't you be frightened, little girl. So there was thunder, and he told her, don't be frightened, don't be afraid. Why should it kill a little thing like you? So normally children are afraid of thunder. He knew it very well, and that's why he told Fiocla, don't be afraid of thunder. As soon as the rain begins, the wind drops. The only sound is the patter of rain dropping like fine shot on the dry and the parched road. That means it started raining heavily, and now as it started raining, the wind dropped. That means the wind stopped, and the only sound they could hear was the sound of raindrops. Okay, so and we have to see whether Terenty will be able to help Danilka, and what all things will happen hereafter. But we will see it only in the next class. So read the paragraphs that we have completed, and also learn the words. Okay, we will stop for today. Thank you.